And you mentioned Gunner. We've got two guys that just got drafted, one in the 5th round and one in the 7th round that were our starting gunners. And Darius and Jalen were a big reason why our net punt was one of the best in the country last year. Kai knows that, and everybody else on the unit knows that. So that's one position where we really do need guys to step up. Moving around, in those starting spots, but also playing backup roles, and you need multiple guys that can play. And when we got to the bowl game, we didn't have those guys. You saw a big difference. So there are a lot of spots sprinkled into every unit where that's the case. I don't know a name take a guy like DK Joyner, who's been a regular 3 or 4 unit starter for us the last 2 years. Well, now as he moves into a running back role that might be very taxing on him, we may have to tone down severely how many units he's on. He may still start on 1 and be a backup on 3, but somebody else now needs to step into those roles that he vacated. So some of it's by graduation, some of it is by what is going on offense and defense, and how there's sort of a ripple effect to what we do on the special teams. So there's a lot of questions to be answered. And even though most of the starting returners are back, there's a lot of questions about depth at those spots as well.
I would assume, based on spring, that Amari Brown, Eddie Lewis both get looks at punt return.
Absolutely.
Are there other guys in there?
Jalen Kilgore has shown that he's very natural at it as well. And he's just a freshman, but he was very comfortable back there, and he's certainly going to get reps during this preseason as well.
What does that look like right there for you guys? How do you evaluate that?
Well, the good news is that Amarian Brown has played some for us in games before, including the bowl game. Eddie Lewis played extensively at Memphis and had a lot of success as a punt returner there. And then Jalen Kilgore, who's a freshman who fortunately was able to enroll early. We got a chance to evaluate him in the spring. And so right now those 3 guys, among others who can do it, like for example, Juju McDowell can move over from kick returner and catch punts as well. But at least we have some depth. We probably have better depth at punt returner than we do at kick returner. And more work to do at kick returner to develop our depth. At punt returner, we need to figure out who our starter is going to be. And so we'll have plenty of time this preseason to critique those guys and coach those guys and prepare those guys and figure out who gives us the best chance to be successful.
I guess you heard Shane mention that y'all don't want to rest on your laurels on special teams.
No doubt.
And wanted to improve this summer on some things. What was the #1 chief stressor for you to your guys on what you want to see improved this year?
There were definitely, for the specialists, there were some situations that we could have executed at a much higher level. The basic stuff that they did was really solid. I mean, Mitch was perfect on field goals last year. He was much improved on kickoffs. Kai had a good year, but when you really look deeper into some specific situations, those guys can definitely improve how they performed and handled those things. And then looking across the units, we've got 30 plus new players on the roster, and even some of the guys that return may not be able to move back into their spots that they have been in because of commitments on offense and defense and so forth. So we've got a lot to revamp in terms of personnel, and we certainly just can't sit back and say just because we had such a great year last year that it's going to happen. I mean, one of my mantras for this year is confident but humble. So we should be confident because we've done a lot of great things the last 2 years on these units, but we have to be humble because we have to understand that doesn't automatically mean it's going to happen again.
I know a good special teams coach always has his eye on the freshmen and what they can bring to you. It's how they grow up and learn some on the field. What have you noticed about this class and maybe who are a couple of guys that you have your eye on who can make a tremendous impact for you?
Yeah, one of the biggest things we've added this year, whether it be through freshmen or transfers, is length. And so you look at guys like Trey Knox, and Josh Simon, and Nicholas Harbor, and even some of the freshman defensive backs, Judge Collier, Jalen Kilgore. Those guys have length, and that's something that we didn't have as much of the last 2 years. So when it comes to matching up in one-on-one situations, if you're just as fast as somebody else, but you're taller and longer, you may have an advantage. And I'm excited to work with some of those guys and see where they might fit in. Pup Howard's another guy. He's a tall, long, thick linebacker that we haven't had around here before. So getting those guys to mature, getting those guys to understand our system, the detail we expect, to play with confidence, that's what we have to work on in the next month.